Hello and welcome back to the Paperless movement. We've constantly been receiving messages from people telling us that their workflows don't run smoothly. The workflows they run to implement are overrun by obstacles, or they tell us they're constantly being interrupted. Sometimes people say they have workflows, but they're completely broken, or for some, well, they just don't exist. All this chaos causes negative emotions like anxiety and frustration, but what it really does is cause you to feel like you're being completely unproductive. Perhaps you're suffering with this too. Maybe you don't know how to define workflows to better manage your information to get more work done. Don't panic. In this video, we show you 5 easy rules to implement to handle this situation using a radical different approach. First, let's make things crystal clear. What is a workflow? A workflow is a sequence of tasks that processes information through a specific path from initiation to completion. And that is the fundamental point of it all, from initiation to completion. Armed with this initial concept, we can focus on our 5 rules you can use to solve your workflow problem. Rule number 1, define your workflows from start to finish. Clearly define a starting point and ending point for each workflow. If you don't, your workflows will get interrupted. And an interrupted workflow is a broken workflow. Rule number 2, make your workflows work the same way your brain works. If you have to create a workflow that you need to memorize, learn or recall, they're going to fail. You need to adapt your workflows to function the same way your brain does, not the other way around. The way you think and process things is the same way your workflows should be constructed. Rule number 3, start simple. Don't try to implement hundreds of workflows at the same time. Start simple. Think about your most straightforward process and write down the steps you follow or intend to follow from start to finish. Try to repeat that workflow daily. When you feel it comes to you naturally, go ahead and add another one. The moment you get used to creating and implementing workflows, you'll see you'll generate them faster and easier. Rule number 4, steal with pride. Look for the best practices. See what others are doing. There's really no need to reinvent the wheel. For example, within the Paperless movement community, we share hundreds of different workflows based on our experience. If we've done the hard work figuring it all out and they work for us, why can't they work for you? Now, rule number 5, don't copy and paste. Yes, in rule number 4, we told you to steal with pride, but what we mean by this is never simply copy and paste other people's workflows, no matter where you've learned them from. Look at them, study them, understand them. Then, once you've understood the bigger picture, mold and polish the workflows you feel you align with and adapt them to your style, so you can build them to mimic the way you think. That's how you create smooth workflows. It shouldn't require massive willpower or deep thinking for you to put them into practice. Here, let me give you an example so you can get a better idea. How do I capture a thought? First, a thought comes to my mind. Second, I quickly write it down before I forget it. Third, I move what I wrote down to an inbox. That way I don't lose it and I know exactly where I can find it later. This allows me to avoid scattered information. Fourth, I process my inbox daily. Fifth, when processing, I decide for each thought I've had what needs to be done. I only have 3 options what can be done. Option number 1, if it's crystal clear to what needs to be done, I list the actions that need to be done. For example, create a project or prepare a report. Second option, if I see that I would need to dedicate more time to the thought, for instance, I might need to conduct some additional research or ask someone for advice. Simply put, direct actions for the captured information aren't clear yet. I list the additional types of actions that need to be done first. For example, call a person or look for additional information related to my thought. Option number 3, it's not clear to me what needs to be done at all. When this happens, I just leave the thought in my system in case I need it in the future. Did you recognize what wasn't part of the rules I've just mentioned? An app. I didn't think about apps at all. I just thought about the process from the beginning when a thought came to mind to the end where I've defined all my options. There are no cracks. There are no options missing. It's all well defined and covered. Only when my process is solid do I start exploring the apps that truly fit my newly defined workflow? That way, when I execute the workflow, it will be executed naturally, because I'm simply following a mental process that operates in the same way my brain does. It's not something I need to memorize, because it's simply how I think. So start today. Don't delay this decision. Having well-defined workflows in your life brings about absolute satisfaction. Once you've defined one, you'll start to create momentum. All kinds of workflows will begin to appear here, there, and everywhere. If you want your workflows to work, dedicate enough time to think about them. Define, create, and test them on a daily basis. As soon as you have 4 or 5 well-defined workflows, you feel how much better you manage your information and how you get more work done. Well-defined workflows are also an essential part of our ICOR framework that we teach to help business professionals like you to get more work done with better information management. The best, you can start with our free ICOR Kickstart course today. I'll link it in the description below. And if you have already subscribed to this channel, I'll catch you up next time.